Hi there, welcome back to Mom Talk. My name is Madison Harris, and I'll be your host to talk about all things gruesome and gritty of motherhood. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, sometimes you're elbow deep in baby shit, and I'm here to get you through it. This week's episode, we're going to talk about all things controversial parenting, whether it's spanking, vaccinations, or formula feeding. I have some of my personal experiences, friends and family experiences, and I even did a deep dive into Reddit to find some jaw-dropping experiences there as well. Let's get into it with our very first story. I don't want my 26 female partner, 30 male co-sleeping with us. Since my baby has been born, 4 months old, I have co-slept with her. We sleep so great together and everything is going well for us. Except her dad. He wants to sleep in bed with us on the opposite side of me and complains about it being unfair that he doesn't get to sleep in bed with her. He doesn't care about being next to me, he just wants to be close to his daughter. I desperately want us to sleep in different beds, but he straight up refuses. He moves a lot in his sleep, snores, and breathes loudly, waking us both up, and whines that he doesn't have enough room every night, while taking up more than half the bed space. He is only maybe 5 kilograms bigger than me, too. I just want us to sleep separately, or maybe I will try putting baby in her own bed, which I'm really not keen on because sleeping with her is what works for me. What should I do? I'm completely over it and so annoyed with him about it. I've spoken to him, he doesn't care that he's causing us to wake up, says we have to learn and get over it eventually. He especially does not care about me or room for me. There has been many nights where I'm breastfeeding baby and his elbows I have to catch with my hand because he is so reckless and waves them around while sleeping. I co-sleep. I've co-slept since my daughter was about 4 months old. We've worked on and off with sleep training, but with sleep regressions and teething, they are kicking our butt right now, and I will do anything for another hour of sleep, I'm gonna be honest. However, with that being said, before I ever started to co-sleep with my daughter, I made sure to fully research what was safe and the correct way to do so, which is when I found Safe Sleep 7 and I follow it and live by it religiously. However, I would never kick my husband out of the bed so that me and my daughter could have a quote-unquote better sleep. That man gets up every morning to go to work and work for our family while I stay home and get to take care of our daughter. You think I'm gonna make him sleep anywhere else but his own bed? I tried to see it. I tried to see this girl out. I tried to hear it through, but I can't. I genuinely cannot see from her point of view. So I don't think co-sleeping here is the biggest issue. Like, she's making quite a big deal out of what could easily be solved with a compromise. I co-sleep with my daughter, like I said, and she sleeps on one side of me and my husband sleeps on the other side. She does not ever sleep in between either of us. So I'm just astonished at how she's so hell-bent on, I don't know, it just seems really extreme to me. Like, how big is your bed? Do you need to invest in a bigger bed? Do you need to invest in marriage counseling? I do wholeheartedly believe you're the asshole in this one. I asked some of my family and friends for some of their takes on these Reddit stories, and for the very first one, we have my sister, Savannah.
Okay, now with the co-sleeping, I'm 50-50 on it. Me and Baker did co-sleep a little bit, but mom and dad do deserve their own space, and baby deserves his own space. I believe that you should have some sort of sleeping area for the baby in the room, not in the bed, but maybe in the room until they reach a certain age, and then you move them to their crib. But dad should not have to be kicked out of his own bed that he works to sleep in because mommy wants baby to sleep in the bed.
Please excuse the not wonderful audio. My sister is 4.5 hours away, and I had to record that via Snapchat video. Anyways, on to the next story. Am I the asshole for spanking my kid? Note that I don't condone child abuse or violence. My child can read and write. She's learning numbers and math at an accelerated rate. She has an amazing vocabulary, and in my opinion, she's extremely intelligent. I almost never feel like I have to spank her at all. Usually she's a pretty normal kid. Recently, she learned how to play online games on her iPad, and things don't always go her way. We've gotten noise complaints from other tenants due to volume, and I'm worried we won't be able to renew our lease due to our complaints. My kid lost a game or a round she was really into and just freaked out. Started slamming doors, stomping all around the house, and I definitely tried the gentle parent route, but it was not getting through her head. Her mom tried helping and she started being very disrespectful towards her. I walked into the restroom she tried locking herself into, turned her around, and gave her a good smack on the behind. My wife now thinks I'm the asshole, and I'm pretty sure her parents are going to get involved soon as well. Was I wrong? I was actually spanked a lot growing up. I was my mom's second child. I was hell-bent on being rebellious, always getting into something, always being told no and doing it anyways. I feel so bad for my mom now that I'm an adult and I have a little girl because I know it's going to be the exact same situation. However, when I got spanked, I learned. Like, I knew, okay, they're done playing with me. It's time to stop. That shit hurt. In this story, they tried the gentle parenting route. They tried to redirect the anger and figure out why they were so upset, and the kid just responded with nothing but disrespect. So in my personal opinion, I would have gave a little spank as well. I don't see it as child abuse if you're trying to redirect bad behavior and they're not listening literally any other way. Sometimes that's what it takes. I mean, I know that I would just keep doing whatever and listen to mom say no, 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 and then when she gave me a smack on the butt, I knew it was time to sit down. I obviously don't condone child abuse. Slapping a kid across the face is not a spanking. A spanking is defined as across the bum, or at least where I'm from anyway. I don't believe he's the asshole, not in this story, not in this circumstance. This next take is from my cousin, Caylie.
There's obviously a fine line between discipline and abuse. Abuse would be leaving bruises on your child. If you're hitting them so hard that you are leaving bruises or that they're scared of you, yes, that is abuse. Disciplining your child, spanking them, popping them on the hand, popping them on the mouth, that's teaching. That's unfortunately, how a lot of kids learn. They don't listen. They have to be disciplined in order to get it through to them, hey, this is not what we're supposed to do. And as a parent, that's your job to teach them right from wrong. They don't know right from wrong. They don't come out of the womb knowing right from wrong. Somebody has to teach that to them. And if parents don't teach it, who will? Discipline is quite literally one of the only things that helps children learn.
And on to our next story. My husband, 35 male, and I, 33 female, disagree about vaccinations. Our kids are being affected by it. Does anyone have any advice on how we can move forward? Alright, so a bit of backstory. My husband, 35 male, and I, 33 female, got together 10 years ago at the time we were 23 and 25. We discussed a lot up front and did some premarital counseling, just really a questionnaire with a bunch of questions related to values, and we seemed very well matched based on that and our own perceptions. Fast forward to COVID, now my husband is vehemently against any vaccines. He has sent me articles and I've read them and see kinda how he could have reached those conclusions that he's reached, but ultimately I'm pro-vaccinations. Thankfully for me, this revelation for him occurred after our young children had their initial rounds of vaccines. But now, our oldest is starting school and her immunization record isn't up to date. I don't want her missing out on things because of this, which she will where we live, and he doesn't care about that. There will be more vaccinations coming for our children as they age. I have no idea how we move forward here. Neither of us are willing to budge on this issue because we both feel so strongly about it. Even if we divorce, this is still an issue and will be so as long as we both are alive. I'm feeling so incredibly defeated and tired. Has anyone else dealt with this / have any advice? I decided to vaccinate my daughter. That's just what worked for me and for my family. I was vaccinated as a kid. My husband was vaccinated as a kid. It just personally makes me feel safer to know that my daughter is vaccinated and has some form of protection from all of these spooky, scary diseases that exist in our world. With that being said, I would never force vaccinations on any of my friends or family. It is solely what is best for you and your family, and for mine, vaccinations worked. However, in this story, it is so difficult because they can't come to a resolution at all. Whether they're together or divorced, they're still going to have this issue. The children already have their initial vaccines, so I'm not really sure why he wants to stop now. All of the vaccinations are not like the COVID vaccine. A lot of the ones that are given to our children have been around longer than us, our mothers, and our grandparents. Personally, if it were me, hate me, whatever, I would go and take my kids and get them vaccinated, and I would obviously tell him, but if he got mad enough to divorce me, I mean, see ya, bye. Like, I would rather my child be safe and healthy than not get their vaccines just because you read a little bit on the internet and it scared you. Don't get me wrong, I was very scared of vaccinations in the beginning. I was on the wrong side of all of the research. I looked at all of the extremely scary cases, the extremely rare cases, and I was horrified. I was literally horrified. However, they've actually came out with a lot of studies to debunk a lot of the myths that people have always said about vaccinations, like for one, them causing autism. Personally, I hope that this person and their husband are able to figure it out some way, some form, and it doesn't have to go to the extent of divorce. However, I know that if you're not willing to move and they're not willing to move, that's probably going to be the only solution. I don't think you're the asshole. I don't think he's the asshole. I think genuinely everyone sucks in this situation because at some point in a marriage you should be able to come to some sort of compromise. The next guest take we have is my friend Madison.
Oof. Sticky situation here with this poor girl. Personally, my kids are vaccinated. If it was me, if that was my husband and me in that situation, I would tell him, eat dirt, kick rocks, go fly a kite, in that order. These babies need vaccinations. And I believe strongly in a mother's instinct. I think it's just like a woman's nature to know what's best for their kid. Now, that's not the case all the times. You know, there's babies born addicted to crack every day, and it's crazy. But not that the father shouldn't have an opinion, but with healthcare and medical stuff, typically it's the mom that's more involved in that.
And on to our next story. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she should just formula feed? My wife always complains about breastfeeding. First, her nipples were always hurting, and now she just always talks about how she never gets a minute away from the baby because it feels like he's glued to her chest. The other night, we got in an argument because she wanted to go to the store and she said there's milk pumped for the baby if she wakes up and gets hungry. I told her not to worry about it and that I would go. She snapped and said she always has to stay home with the baby and never gets a minute alone. She was saying how she feels lonely and it's unfair, how I don't understand how all of her meals are always cold or she has to scarf them down, and how I don't understand that she has to wake up with the baby, and even if I were to bottle feed the baby, she'd still have to wake up anyways to pump to prevent engorgement. I got tired of the nagging and told her she needs to just formula feed and stop bitching about breastfeeding. She had the option and she chose to breastfeed. Why is that my fault? I told her if she'd just formula feed then I could help more, but she keeps saying that it's better to breastfeed and that I'm fully capable of helping her with the milk she has stored in the freezer, even though I was under the impression that she was trying to stock up for when she goes back to work. Once again, the excuses started, so I said either formula feed or shut up. Now she's mad at me and hasn't talked to me in a few days. I told her I was sorry and if I hurt her feelings, but I guess that wasn't enough. This one actually kind of hit home just a little bit because I wanted to breastfeed so strongly and was unable to after about 3 weeks. And so for her husband to have said it the way that he did, I was stunned. My jaw was on the floor. This woman has just given birth. I understand that maybe she's complaining about a choice that she made, but she's also trying to make the best choice for your child, and it's very difficult to breastfeed, let alone if you're breastfeeding and pumping while trying to store milk. It is not an easy task. I've been there, I've done that. I actually only breastfed for 2 days because I thought I was going to die every time she latched. So we ended up pumping and bottle feeding. My husband would never say something like this man did, but if he did, he would no longer have a head. You're the one that knocked her up. She had to go through 9 months of carrying and growing a child, and then however many hours of labor to push out said child, and is now using her own body to produce food for this child. If he really was concerned about her and her health and trying to make the best decision for her, he could have sat down and been like, hey, I love you. I think something's going on. Maybe we should try another option just so you're not as stressed out, because there's not much that I can do whenever you breastfeed. Like, there were just so many different ways to go about it than telling your wife to shut up. Like, she needs you. She's trying to confide in you. And I know that you take it as bitching, But you also have to realize she still has all of these hormones flowing through her body like crazy. They don't normalize or balance out until about 6 months, and then your body isn't even fully healed from your birth until about 2 years. So yes, I do think you're the asshole. There were many other ways to have gone about this situation. This last take is from my friend Megan.
My take on the breastfeeding and the husband not supporting it, I feel like he should be there to support her in whatever she decides. And if she feels like breast is best, then she should have the option to do that and have all the support for it. It's not that big of a deal to take out milk, to thaw out and warm up, and he should be there encouraging her to get out and not feel lonely because the baby is stuck to her.
These were some pretty intense Reddit stories, and I'm so thankful I had some friends and family to give me their takes as well. Thank you for tuning in this week, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye!